Alright, wanted to do a quick video just to kind of go over the stuff we did the first day of class. I wanted to cover, just in case you came to class late, or I had a couple people that joined 2 weeks into it and kind of missed this kind of basic stuff that I went over. So anyway, if you go to, first off, to open up this program is Adobe Illustrator. If you can't find it on the desktop, one of the easier ways to open it, if you just go down to your window and start typing in Illustrator, then it should come up and be right there. And then once you open this, you're not going to be able to do anything until you actually have a canvas, until you have a file to work with. So if you go up here to File, and then there's New, okay, and all of these over here are going to have shortcuts for you. So if you can either click New here and get that, or I can do Control-N, and it pops up the exact same box. It's a good idea to start naming your stuff. So I'm just going to call this Add Design. And that really is a good habit to get in, because if you don't do that, then when you have a bunch of things open, you'll see a bunch of tabs open up here at the top. It gets kind of hard to navigate. One of the other things I like to do is I like to change my stuff to inches. The default may be something different, but if you switch it to inches, you'll be able to, when you create boxes and different things, it helps you in the long run if you change that to inches, for me personally. It's at 8.5 by 11, which is a standard size piece of paper. That's fine. We're just looking to kind of mess around with this one. So I hit OK, and now I have a new canvas. So now I actually have this white space is called my artboard. I'm going to kind of show you just a couple things that I do and kind of some navigation things. If you'll see me, first let me show you how to navigate. So what I'm doing here is I'm holding down Alt and the scroll wheel, and that helps me zoom in and out. I can hold down spacebar and kind of move as I'm clicking and dragging. So that's kind of the easy ways to maneuver around in the document. Of course, you have your scroll bar over here to the side. You can do that as well. So this that I'm on right now is called the selection tool. Let's try, so I'm going to draw just a rectangle. Okay, so I've got my shape tool here, rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw out a shape. Okay, so now my shape is black on the outside. This is called your stroke, and it's white on the inside. This is called your fill. And I can flip those. If I hit this, I can go up here and change my color. I can do my color over here if I want to. Okay, so you got a lot of different options of ways that you can do things. So anytime you see where it's got this little angle, this little triangle down here, if you click and hold that, it'll give you some other options. So this is my shape tool, but I've got rectangle tool. I also have the rounded rectangle tool. You use that later on. Let me go bring up the ellipse tool. So I'm going to draw that out, and it gives me this kind of curved shape. I'm going to go back to my selection tool, and I can move it. I can change the color. And anytime you do something, it's going to change based on what you have. Well, I like to say what you have in your hand, what you have selected. So as I'm changing the color, it's only changing my circle because that's what I have selected. But if I add to that selection, I can click and drag like this and add to my selection. And when I change the color, it changes both of them. Let me show you. So now I want to go back to what I had where there were two separate colors. So I want to show you, if I go to Edit and then Undo, okay, and the shortcut here, you've got to learn this shortcut. It's Control-Z. Okay, you're going to use this all the time. So I'm just going to click it, but now I'm going to do Control-Z, and I'm actually doing the shortcut on the keyboard right now. Okay, so I've got my shapes. I'm moving them around with my selection tool. I can also do, let me get a star out here. Star, we'll change it yellow. Okay, so you can also organize your objects. So I've got these, and this is on the background, this is in second place, and this is in first, this is on top. So we can do it just like, think about like pieces of paper. If I wanted to organize these pieces of paper, I could send this star, being the top piece of paper, behind that, right? So the way you do that is, and I'm going to show you the long way, but you're going to want to learn this shortcut. Right-click, arrange, and I can either send it backward, which sends it just back one layer, or I can send it to the back. Let's see, I'm going to do send to back. Okay, and so that actually put it behind the blue circle and the blue rectangle. Okay, so you can kind of organize your designs like that. Let's see, I've got an eraser. Okay, so I tell people a lot of times just mess with, let me show you what I did. I just did Control-Z there. So my eraser's only erasing what I have selected. So this circle, as I erase it, and I'm getting all this stuff over here, but it doesn't remember that. It only remembers what I erased on my circle, because that's what I had selected. And I can go back and mess with individual pieces, whatever you want to do. What was I going to tell you? We'll get into the pen tool later. One of the main things I do is to just kind of mess around with these different shapes and kind of play with it, right? Learn. Then we've got our zoom tool. We can magnify things. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out, doing Control. Nope, Alt. Sorry, Alt. Scroll down. The one thing I was going to show you, though, and I tell people this on the first day, just to tell you how to get out of it. There is the perspective grid tool. Let's see right here, perspective grid tool. So if you're clicking around and you're trying to see what all these different things are, and you click on perspective grid tool, and this thing pops up. And this is a really good tool, and we're going to use it later, but I want to show you how to get rid of it, okay? Because today it's just going to be annoying to you because we're not actually getting into that unless you actually want to play with it. So to get rid of this, you have to be selected on a perspective grid tool or the perspective selection tool, okay? Either one of those. I'm just going to stay on my perspective grid tool. And sometimes this will be hidden behind here, so you need to move this out of the way possibly and click there, okay? That's the long way of doing it. You can also do Control-Shift-I, and it does the same thing, okay? So when you get that perspective grid tool pops up there, just do Control-Shift-I, and it'll go away, okay? So we did the shape tool. We covered the fact that when you click and hold it, these other options pop up. So we're going to get into the type tool. We're going to get into several of these different options and what they do. Okay, but the main thing I wanted to cover today was just how to draw shapes, how to change the color, the concept of a fill color, the concept of a stroke color, and how to move things and how to organize things, sending it backwards and forwards within a design.